to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the work of ministers of government and other officials as they push the administration's development agenda. News on Monday. The Attorney General's Chamber sought the assistance of the Guyana Police Force and its Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCO, to investigate transactions involving state lands during the tenure of the APNU-AFC government. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honourable Anil Nandlal, released letters sent to those agencies on Sunday. He said government will be pursuing legal action against officials of the former administration. The Sunday letter named a former minister as vesting titles to land without full payment from individuals. There was said to be another case where 10% of the purchase price was paid. The AG said the distribution of state lands included prime commercial and agricultural assets at the Wales Estate, West Bank Demerara, Ogle East Coast Demerara and Peters Hall on the East Bank Demerara. Also on Monday, over in Region 3, residents of Saw Pit Road, Good Intent on the West Bank of Demerara lauded government's plan to rehabilitate the street, which has been in need of repairs for many years.
This road is very important for this area inside because it's one road alone, and we have a lot of things that's be done inside here. So we will be thankful and grateful as soon as that this road could start and finish.
If there's an emergency, right, that an emergency vehicle have to come in the area, right, that is going to slow the vehicle up. Two, right, people need it to fix, because that is going to benefit everyone in the area.
There are more holes in that road more than there are places to drive. You saw it with yourself. So we are fixing that road. It's already been awarded, so mobilization is happening now for that. So you're supposed to see anything within days.
The following day, the minister conducted a similar community engagement in Rostam Dam, Canal Number 2 and Bell West. There, residents were informed that they can soon expect a greater quality of life as government pursues the rehabilitation of roads in their communities. For Rostam Dam, Minister Indar said the road upgrade is a priority identified by the regional chairman, Mr. Inchan Ayub, as it will benefit approximately 250 residents. Minister Indar spoke about other infrastructural issues in the two communities. On a two-day visit to Region 7, Minister of Labour, the Honourable Joseph Hamilton, outlined the ministry's plans for training and development in the region.
Our intention is to train in every region at least 2 labor officers, resident of the regions, who will take to Georgetown, train them, and send them back to work in the region so that labor relations matters can be policed and people's rights can be protected. The labor officers must be judicious and to police labor-related matters equally and equitably between both private sector and public sector.
In an effort to improve workers' safety, Minister Hamilton inspected the Guyana Power and Light and Guyana Gold Board locations in the region. The minister gave the assurance that occupational safety and health officers will be trained to properly supervise and inspect operations at work sites. Bartika's Deputy Mayor, Arita Embleton, welcomed the initiative as Bartika is a mining town.
Yes, I applaud that move. We really would like to have occupational health officers stationed here in Bartika, and I'm very happy that he has decided to choose 2 of our very own persons to be trained. That will be a great help for us. Anyone that is being trained out of Bartika should and must come back to work in the region in order to develop it.
On Tuesday, Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Zulfikar Mustafa, and officials from the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, and the Guyana Sugar Corporation, GAISUCO, visited several areas on the east coast of Demerara to conduct flood assessments.
These areas were underwater last night with the high intensity rainfall that fell over the last couple hours yesterday. Almost 4 inches of rain fell. And because of the high intensity, our drainage system is not catered to drain that amount of water. As a result of that, we have seen water built up in Success, LBI, Triumph, Mondripo, and other low-lying areas.
The minister explained that draining water off the land became challenging since several of GAISUCO's pumps at Montrose were inoperable. Swift action was taken and new pumps were installed at Montrose and other areas to mitigate flooding. The minister also cautioned residents in the area, urging them to properly manage the systems the government put in place for their benefit.
I want to also sound the warning to residents that we should desist from throwing garbage in these drainage canals. At Good Hope last night, a lot of garbage came out of the canal and that was blocking the flow of water. So they have to help us also to manage the system. We are putting the system in place, but also we alone can manage it to ensure that the residents have to ensure that they take care of the system, not to dump garbage and block the drainage system, not to interfere with the DNI system in the area, not to put down structure that will impede the flow of water.
Minister Mustafa said more pumps would be added to improve the drainage system.
Report that we'll have 9 additional pumps that we have in the system that will be installed by the Indian company that were contracted to do these pumps. The Indian national, they are in the country presently. They have traveled to Region 2 to start the installation there. And as I am speaking here, our technical officer there, they are doing an assessment of those vulnerable areas so that we can put resources to ensure that those canals and main drains are clean so that they can take the flow of water and drain the land.
On Wednesday, we reported that Minister of Natural Resources, the Honourable Vikram Bharat, and Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Zulfikar Mustafa, visited the riverine communities of Oriala and Siparuta, East Berbice Quarantine. High on the agenda was overseeing the distribution of the government's $25,000 COVID relief cash grant. This initiative was welcomed by residents.
Today I'm feeling really happy receiving this $25,000 because this really would help me, and I want to thank our government and all of the team for helping us with this, and I do hope that this wouldn't be the end.
Well, I'm very happy for our new government for giving us this $25,000 grant. Yes, well, I buy my groceries.
The $25,000 per household cash grant is among several measures His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali announced to cushion the effects of COVID-19. Households across the country have already benefited from the ongoing exercise. Meanwhile, Minister Bharat has assured residents of both Orial and Siparuta that even though their villages are not directly involved in oil exploration, there is much to gain from the petroleum industry.
You will benefit from the proceeds from oil and gas. As a matter of fact, His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali has committed that every single Guyanese, regardless whether you live in Oriala, in the Rupununi, you live in Northwest, you live in Linden, every single Guyanese will benefit from the oil and gas proceeds. And we intend to ensure that we manage this sector in a transparent and accountable manner. And I'm happy to say it to you today because this is information that you should know, you're Guyanese. The resources of this country belongs to all of us here. It doesn't belong to a government or a minister. It belongs to every single Guyanese. And I'm happy to declare to you that from our oil proceeds alone, we have, in what we call the Natural Resource Fund, $148 million already from oil and gas, from oil, sorry. $148 million that is untouched. And I would like to note that we have not used a single dollar from the oil proceeds as of today. As we are speaking here today, we have not used a single dollar from oil. So even though we would have managed to present one of the largest budgets in less than 1 month, $330 billion, there is no oil money in that budget.
This week also saw Minister of Public Works, the Honourable Bishop Juan Edgil, reconvening a number of state boards. A significant charge was issued to the Sea and River Defence Board.
We are facilitating business in Guyana. We're not obstructing business. So when we come to this board and our deliberations, it's not about giving people a hard time. It's about how we could make it happen in keeping with the rules, ensuring compliance with our laws, and ensuring that development takes place.
The minister also said the board is a significant multi-agency body which he encouraged to work for the modernization of the country and to create linkages to other countries on the continent. The board will play a critical role in the industrialization, expansion of the manufacturing sector, agro-processing, hotel construction, and others. Bishop Edgell urged the board to serve the nation with distinction.
Our only interest must be prospering Guyana. And you are an important pillar in facilitating that.
The minister also installed the board of the Ghana National Shipping Corporation, Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Maritime Administration Department, Transport and Harbors Department, and Kanawaima Ferry Service Incorporated. Also this week, the East Lepenitence and Monrepo markets have joined the list of markets slated for major infrastructural upgrades come 2021. The East Rheinveld and Albaistang markets are set to be completed by the year's end. Minister within the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honourable Anand Prasad, cited the deplorable state of the facilities, which prompted the ministry to take the necessary steps to ensure they are rehabilitated.
Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development is going to put up a proposal for next year's budget whereby we can do a comprehensive rehabilitation.
The minister said works will be conducted at the East Lepenitence market during the new week to fix the lighting issue. This will allow vendors to ply their trade into the evening. The ministry is also reviewing the Stabroek and Kitty markets to assess the magnitude of repairs that need to be undertaken. The implementation of rental fees at the Kitty market is also being considered. Minister Prasad noted that while it is the Georgetown Mayor and City Council's responsibility to manage these facilities, the ministry has no problem with providing assistance.
The Mayor and City Council has done a terrible job over the years, and the sole responsibility of markets come under the Mayor and City Council. But as a responsible government, responsible Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, that is something we'll be looking at, hopefully in next year's budget.
Events on Thursday. The Saturday Aquaculture Station will play a critical role in the development of aquaculture in Guyana. Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Zulfikar Mustafa, on the Saturday visited the station located at Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, where he was given a tour by Fisheries Officer Nikita Duki. The Agriculture Minister said more resources will be made available to the station.
And I plan to put in some more resources so that we can develop it more to a better extent, because many aquaculture farmers need guidance and need extension services, and also need these small fishes, these fingerlings as they call it, for us to provide them and give them the kind of guidance to grow them.
The minister said he wants the aquaculture industry to make a contribution to Ghana's agriculture output.
Agriculture farming has potential to bring in a lot of revenue, and many Caribbean countries and even North America and other places need these kinds of fishes. So I will encourage and I will try to promote aquaculture.
News on Friday. The Ghana National Broadcasting Authority, GNBA, will soon seek to recover the debt owed by defaulters. Minister of Public Affairs within the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honourable Kwame McCoy, made this disclosure during a tour of the authority on Friday.
So I'm here today, and basically we've been able to talk about what are the challenges facing the entity at this time and how we could overcome those challenges. Basically, as well, to be able to give them the assurance of having a board in place very soon to be able to address the matters of this agency. As you know, the broadcasting agency here, GNBA, has a very important role in being able to monitor broadcasting in the country and to flag infractions and to be able to work it through with the broadcasters. At the end of the day, we're looking for quality broadcasting across the country, and they're also responsible for licensing applicants who wish to have frequency to do broadcasting. So they have a very, a lot of work to do here. So we are going to be very shortly have a board in place to be able to carry out its functions.
Minister McCoy said he was satisfied that there is a good bunch of people at GNBA who are determined to work in the interest of the authority.
In the next few weeks, the emphasis will be on collecting the outstanding sums owed by broadcasters to the agencies. You know, they rely on this very dearly because it's what have the monies from these fees have to be able to carry the entity, to be able to invest in their expansion and so forth.
Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo today made it clear that the government is committed to hosting local government elections. This clarification was made during the Vice President's media conference at the Artichon Conference Center.
The People's Progressive Party wants local government elections next year. We believe that we can do extremely well in local government elections, and we're going to be working really hard, COVID or not, to ensure that we improve the lives of people in their communities right across this country.
The Vice President also disclosed that resources will be provided in the 2021 national budget to prepare for the next local government elections. However, it was reiterated that there must be changes at the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, before the elections are held. More news from Friday. The Vice President highlighted the setbacks faced by the PPPC government as a result of entering office without an approved budget for the 2020 fiscal year. The situation was compounded by over $200 billion of liabilities and unapproved spending by the previous government.
You would recall that we passed the budget, but that the appropriation bill was only approved on the 30th of September. And that effectively gave us a government, a fully functioning government, only for the month of October and a few days in November, because prior to that, we did not have the powers to spend. We had to go with the 112 provision.
The Vice President said the government also assumed office on the strenuous conditions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We had to quickly address that situation. A government that didn't have budgetary resources for the most part of its life in office thus far, but had to try to address that situation through exceptional means.
Despite the early constraints, the PPPC government was still able to keep many of the promises outlined in its manifesto.
There's been a lot of changes in that regard to ensure that the machinery of government operated more efficiently, expeditiously, and with more care in terms of services that it provided.
The government will mark 100 days in office on November 10. Meanwhile, Dr. Jagdeo said the PPPC government has been adequately handling the reopening of the economy in the face of the ongoing pandemic. A strategic plan was in place over the last 3 months.
The key issues have been in trying to deal with both trying to reopen the economy, because there are a lot of people want this. We talk to people every day, not just the business owners, but workers, people who now ran out of money, who don't have a social safety net. They just need to get back to work.
The government safely reopened 2 international airports and reduced the curfew hours.
Capability has grown exponentially. It's still not perfect because nobody has a cure, but we have now more material from the drugs to deal with frontline drugs and all of that to deal with people. So the testing has gone up enormously to the capability. And then we have expanded the emergency rooms and the number of beds and all of that to make sure that we can deal with larger number of cases.
In the energy sector, the Vice President said Guyanese will have some 10 megawatts of power purchased from Makor by Christmas. He said the government discovered that there is not enough power in the system. Over the last few months, 5 megawatts of power were purchased from Giftland for emergency purposes. Also on Friday, Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, handed over a ventilator and an oxygen concentrator to the Upper Demerara Berbice Region, Region 10, Health Department to enhance its COVID-19 treatment. The minister presented the items during a meeting at the Regional Health Department. Health management teams have been dispatched to facilities across the region to check on their specific COVID-19 treatment needs.
We have, over the last couple of weeks, we have been working really hard to ensure that we have adequate supplies of PPPs. And we have been sending that out to make sure that all our hospitals and health facilities have PPPs. We have also been working on the equipment side because we know one of the ways of managing severe and critical patients for COVID has to do with ventilation. And one of the things that we've been trying to do is to ensure that all our regional hospitals have ventilators. In addition to that, we want to ensure that all our regional hospitals have oxygen concentrators so that if there are critical patients that come to us, that we are able to provide that level of care.
That's it for this edition of the Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.